Hello. Today is Friday, July 25th, 2025. I'm Theodore Parker, and this is a sideshow coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky on the East Coast. The weather in this area currently for Friday, starting the weekend, it's 89 degrees. We'll go up to 92. 89 feels like 97. And currently conditions for running are poor for the next several hours. Cycling is poor. Gardening, fair weather. Excuse me. From the Weather Channel, nighttime heat dangers most people overlook. It's summertime. We don't have to be told that twice. We got the heat index. So sometimes it takes longer at night for temperatures to cool down, if at all. So this from the Weather Channel is like a health advisory. Don't wait until you feel like you need it to get some. Water, rest, light or cooler clothing, if necessary, even a cold shower to keep your body temperature down. The Weather Channel. Grass and pollen decreasing tomorrow, or rather grass pollen. We have several types of pollen, so grass pollen decreasing tomorrow. And weather words, Zulu time. This was a phrase that I was not familiar with, but it's universal time. And they give you a number, and no matter where you are, New York, daylight savings time, or somewhere else, that location, especially in matters of weather, can give you the time as to what will be going on. Zulu time, a weather expression. Today, sunrise was at 6:35 a.m. Sunset will be at 8:53 p.m. Currently, the AQI is moderate at 55. The UV is high. We have a wind at 8 miles per hour. And that is our current weather conditions for Lexington, Kentucky. The news for Friday, July 25th. This is the last weekend of the month because this time next week it'll be August 1st. So anyway, before I get into the news, I do want to make an acknowledgement. The news media has flashed the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, and it's like a household name, even without the music background. But he was a member of Black Sabbath, a band that introduced metal. So that gives him a standalone thing right there. So Ozzy had health issues previously, and now news has come forward that he has passed away at age 76. Usually this is a time when the family makes arrangements, but as so it may be, in an early interview, Ozzy was asked what would he like his funeral arrangements to be. I imagine he was somewhere in his 20s from the video. But anyway, he said, well, I don't want it to be a mope fest. Some laughter, tell a few jokes, and maybe just for a little spookiness, have some knocking coming from the coffin. Ozzy Osbourne passed away at age 76. The news. Lexington man charged in second homicide, now facing 2 murder counts. Lexington police say 25-year-old Deontay Carter has been charged in connection with the December 2021 shooting death of Devon Sandusky on Oak Hill Drive. Carter was already behind bars at the Fayette County Detention Center, accused of killing Kobe, spelled Kobby, Martin in January 2022 on Cantrell Drive. He is back in court on Thursday. Lexington police seek public's help in unsolved King Cobra Motorcycle Club shooting. It dates back to January 14, when officers were dispatched around 2:45 a.m. to the King Cobra Motorcycle Club and found Robert Cowan Jr. lying on the ground. He had been shot, according to officers. Cowan later died due to his injuries. Anyone with information is asked to call the Lexington Police Department at 859-258-3600. Anonymous tips can be submitted to Bluegrass Crime Stoppers by calling 859-243-2020. Visiting bluegrasscrimestopper.com or through the P3 Tips app available at p3tips.com. Donald Trump signs controversial executive order. It actually titled President Donald J. Trump Saves College Sports. United States President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that will directly affect college players' earnings via the NIL program. The president signed the order titled President Donald J. Trump Saves College Sports this Thursday, calling for guardrails concerning pay-for-play NIL payments and for clarity regarding the fact that students are not employees. He also suggested new rules for scholarships based on athletic spending. Excuse me. The NCAA wasted little time responding to the signing order. President Charlie Baker issued a statement noting threats being faced by college sports, though he credited the Trump administration's work to level the playing field. The Autonomous Five conferences also responded to the decision, voicing appreciation for Trump's desire to protect college sports. The order prohibits pay-for-play payments by third parties, but does not apply to legitimate fair market value compensation that a third party provides to an athlete, such as for a brand endorsement. At this time, the entity that will have the power to enforce the prevention included in the order is unknown. Former President Joe Biden has shockingly confirmed he not only instructed staff members to use an auto pen to sign off on thousands of pardons at the end of his term, he often didn't even know the names of those he was pardoning. Well, I'm going to say this about that. If you had to write your name 100 times, how often would you want to do it? But if there's a large list of names, even if you read them all, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to recall a particular name. It was soft as F, like you ain't never did an inch of work in your GD life. Ice Cube couldn't believe how soft Michael Jordan's hands were when he first met him. Okay, that's an opening for you, if you ever wanted one. That being said, this is an occasion in the 90s, 97 I believe it is, when Ice Cube met Michael Jordan. So this is some of his takeaway from that meeting and what he had to say about it. Ice Cube. I like Cube Vision. I like that. Mine is Theodore Parker and Sons Enterprises, Inc. But I like Cube Vision. So here we go. It's nothing new that two iconic figures from different worlds cross paths and trade stories that end up becoming a part of pop culture memory. Such was the case when Ice Cube met Michael Jordan for the first time back in 1997. At the time, Cube was a household name, not just in hip-hop, but already well on his way to becoming a legit force in the movie industry following the massive success of Friday, the movie. Jordan, meanwhile, had just returned to the Chicago Bulls after his baseball break and was about to go on another, even more legendary title run. Two giants in their own lanes bumping into each other at a Nike event. Jordan was a big fan of Cube's mega popular movie. But what stuck with Cube wasn't just the handshake or the fame or the moment itself. It was Jordan's offhand admission that one of Cube's biggest hits got him in trouble. I met him probably in '97. It was at a Nike Town event. He was in there and I said, "What's up, MJ?" He said, I told people Friday was my favorite movie and that Sugar Honey Iced Tea got me in trouble. How did it get you in trouble? You know how much weed you smoking in that damn movie? Recalled Cube in his recent appearances on Games with Names podcast. Even though Friday eventually became one of the most quoted comedies of his generation, it wasn't exactly packaged as a feel-good family flick. The film is hilarious, no doubt about that for a second. An unfiltered look at one day in South Central LA, centered around two stoners trying to avoid trouble while getting high and cracking jokes on the front porch. But between all the trouble and the drug use, it's easy to see why someone like Jordan, who at the time had a public image to uphold, might have gotten some slack because of it. Cube never revealed who exactly gave MJ heat for the comment, but it doesn't take much imagination to connect the dots. Still, that didn't stop Jordan from saying it to the man's face, and the world-renowned artist never forgot it. Ice Cube was amazed at Jordan's hand's softness. But out of everything that happened during that meeting, the one detail that stuck with Ice Cube all these years wasn't about weed or movies or even basketball. It was Jordan's hands. Not how big they were, not how strong they felt, it was how soft they were. I remember he shook my hand and that SHIT felt like a baby foot or something. It was soft as F, like you ain't never did an inch of work in your GD life. My daddy's hands feel like a cheese grater. Your hands feel like a baby wipe, the Big Three co-founder added. MJ might have built a legacy on tough shots and ruthless competitiveness, but in that moment, he just felt like the smoothest guy in the room in every possible way. And to be honest, that's often how people, even superstars in their own realm, feel when they get face to face with this airness. In the end, the handshake in the movie mentioned both said a lot. Jordan didn't mind giving props where they were due, and even if it meant catching a little smoke here and there. And for Cube, that brief moment was enough to become a story worth retelling nearly 3 decades later. Feels like I'm about to die. Deion Sanders Jr. expresses frustration as $60 million worth coach prime exhausts him in Dallas. Deion Sanders, who has a net worth of $60 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth, has been struggling with an unspecified illness for a couple of months now, losing over 14 pounds and taking some time off from his head coaching duties at Colorado. Coach Prime missed a few training sessions, but ultimately attended the Big 12 Media Days in Texas, where he declined to discuss his health and instead focused on the team. His son, Deion Sanders Jr., accompanied him at his Texas home during this time and helped him recover during the battle. In Deion Jr.'s latest vlog on his channel, Well Off Media, he captured their last day in Dallas before moving back to Colorado as Coach Prime resumes his head coaching responsibilities. However, Coach Prime's coaching habits didn't take back seat just because he's out of Colorado. After an intense game of tennis left Deion Jr. huffing and puffing, he shared how he can't wait for the Colorado head coach to get back to work so he does not have to train like a professional. Deion Sanders and daughter, Shalomi, enjoy an intense run in Texas. During the visit, the father-daughter duo went for a 1.3-mile run where Shalomi ran the distance and Coach Prime, according to him, tried to keep up. I guess by now you got the impression that this is a father bonding with his adult children. The Colorado head coach posted a video he captured after completing the run, sharing lighthearted banter with his daughter and even getting praised for his endurance. 1.3 miles done and in the books for this morning. It's so much easier when you have someone with you to push you and challenge you. That's what we did for each other. God is using you, baby girl. At Shalomi Saunders, #Dad Coach Prime, #Kids Ranking Today, and the truth will set them free. Be honest with your kids, Deion wrote on Instagram. Coach Prime and his son Deion Sanders Jr. have now moved out of Texas to go back to Colorado. However, the duo has taken a pit stop at Tampa to meet with Shiloh Saunders. So what I thought I would do is share that part with you where Deion's son, Jr., has made a video and posted it. So, excuse me. Give me a second or two here. History. Here we are. So this video is about 10 minutes or so, it is worth looking at. So let me see if I can get it spread.
I'm about to die. I'm so tired. Man, he ready to get back coaching, baby.
Let me see if I can start it over for you.
You know, I got my other brother right here, too. Oh, yeah. Junior, stand up. Yeah. He does all our social media, so all the stuff you've been seeing.
They don't do that, folks.
100 mil I needed, the glory I needed. I took L's but walked around like I was undefeated. I saw no results, I still woke up and chased it. They told me to find myself, instead I want to find a way.
Everybody got a jury. Even the baby got a little something. We ready now.
Last day in Dallas. Trying to get back to it.
Last day for me to enjoy this 200 acres of peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm going to be sad. I want to say what I want to say, but yeah, man.
Yes, sir. I'm kind of sad. I ain't going to lie to you.
What, today?
Oh, come on with it. Let's do it.
You okay?
He just said, I'm trying to get embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
We're good.
Oh.
Getting this tennis on. Let's get it. I want to see the whole thing. Oh, that ain't snow?
He be doing daddy wrong.
Nah, stop. Why? Bro, breathe. When you cry, you don't breathe. Bro, I feel like I'm about to die. I'm so tired. And he ready to get back coaching because he started coaching the hell out of me, dog. The hell out of me. I can hit the ball regular, but I can't hit it like a professional. But he's not playing them games. You gonna hit that tennis ball like a professional. It's perfection and everything. I'm so tired, bro. I'm trying to laugh it off, but it's just, you don't even understand, bro. Boy's a monster. They go out there with him. I can't let him be by himself. You know, he in the hot tub while it's hot outside. That little gold, high degree tennis training session with Coach Prom. This don't make no sense, bro. Double everybody camera. I can't even function right now.
A little tired.
Man, it's the last day here, so as you see, got the bags packed. Going to Tampa tomorrow. Follow me. That can't YouTube be tripping about that. She did Colorado license.
Oh, gotcha. Theodore?
Yeah, but with my Texas license, it reciprocates her. So I don't know if I can buy her, but I can carry her.
Yeah.
She over here. All the bags packed. It's been fun, Cam. It's been very fun. I'm the chef in the building. What we got today, chef?
We got an oxtail and short rib ragu.
Okay.
With the pappardelle pasta, and a little broccoli and a salad for greens.
I don't know what any of that means, but
I know it's gonna be good.
yeah, I know it's gonna be good. We gotta get Chef to Colorado, man. Shout out to the chef in Colorado too, though. I want him to get mad when you see this video. DeAndre, or Double J behind the camera about to cut. You ready?
Yeah, you ready?
She better cut, it's no hair.
Can I pick you up? Alright, get you.
About to be Snow first haircut.
Yeah. You ready to rock out?
I'm so excited. We not gonna edge it up or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want no edge up yet. Just even it out to where it's like,
Yeah. Chop the top.
yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Let me get his iPad. His daddy.
Lord, DeAndre.
I bet it was.
You got my headphones too? But you might have to sit with him. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
He might sit down though.
Okay. Just quiet real quick. This the seat, my boy. This way you look good, feel good, and they pay good afterwards. There you go.
That boy gonna break in the headphones.
It's all good. His uncle buy another pair. We'll just cut the sound though and see how it feels. Come on, go.
Here, call.
You touch it. So you know it ain't gonna hurt you.
Look at it.
right on down.
Just let him do it. Let him do it. This is just gonna keep him calm and quiet.
Yeah. You ready? I think he just want his hands up.
Let me put on Mickey Mouse. What? Oh my gosh.
You good, buddy?
You okay, Snow? Good job, buddy. Keep his little curls. Oh my god. He looks so cute.
Some guys, them back in the day cuts, where they had no heads up.
You look so handsome, man. Look. And so now I won't cut it no more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so now they'll just grow all together.
Stay on what you doing, man. You good? Is it not relaxing, my boy? Uh-oh, I caught a nap. You good? I caught a titan.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You look so handsome. You did so good.
You ready? Get your arms out here.
Let's go, Snow.
My bad, bro. Definitely gotta wipe his face with a wet thread.
I know. Let me get one of his things.
Yeah, that ugly little man. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to him. All right, send me the business, though.
All right.
All right.
It's the last day here, bro. You already know that. Day coming to an end. Kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie to you. I learned to really actually love this place. I really never just stayed out here much. I always stayed like at a hotel downtown, but man, this shit sucks. It's not even just about being here, it's like the battle that was fought here. The battle that was fought and won here. That's like the main important thing. The boy didn't left the house for 2 months. I bought a new couch for the red house and everything. But it's a blessing. And he's gonna tell y'all whatever he went through very soon. And I got a lot of it recorded on video, so you'll be able to see what he went through.
He just did something better. Hey, I just did something better. Hey, I just did something better. Hey, yeah, hey, okay. Oh, second, hey, it's the same one you hated on, same one you doubted, same one you looked down on, the one from Dallas. He never let it faze him, he never even pouted. He wasn't even tripping, he just did something better. Left the city, came back, had a couple 100,000. Next time I came back, I had the imps piling. Couple niggas still here, some rerouted. Now my niggas turned up, in this bitch wildin'. On a yacht with 20 hoes, yeah, the ratio on balance. They're hoping that they get a chance to show me hidden talents. But a trip is all you get when you got that balance. Turning hoes into a housewife, I'm not up for that challenge. Big ol' second in this bitch, I'm shining like a star. Driving like I stole it, I ain't tripping, it's just a car. But my wrist, they shining, you can see them from afar. And ain't no need for introductions, they know who we are. VVS's, I ain't flexing, this is how I live. She acting out, but at this point, don't have a f*** to give. I'm the nigga calling whole shit out for what it is. And I ain't taking nothing back, oh, I did what I did.
Okay, folks, 11 minutes of Deion Sanders Jr. talking about his dad. Thank you for that. Cops forced black man out of car and accused him of selling drugs. All they recover is $10 after he gave someone a ride. So, over the past several days, we have had a news item surface of a man being stopped by the police and how that went. This came after that, but the end of the article is tagged with that information. Cops forced black man out of car and accused him of selling drugs. All they recover is $10 after he gave someone a ride. Virginia police accused a black man of dealing drugs and forced him to get out of the car. In reality, the man was just giving a lift to someone he knew. The black driver was stopped at Norfolk while he was dropping someone he knew home. The incident was captured on a phone, showing the man trying to keep his cool amidst accusations. He was coming from the restaurant named Ziggy after getting his order. He knew people at the restaurant and they asked him to give them a ride home. They met him near the 7-Eleven store. At first he denied, but when they offered him money, he agreed. Meanwhile, he was approached by the Virginia police as they were watching him from a nearby vehicle. They accused him of dealing drugs and interrogated him. Moreover, they demanded that he step out of the vehicle and search his car. When they stopped the black driver, they asked him how he knew them. The driver responds with, "You're wasting your time. We're not doing anything here." Even the passenger chimed in that they work at the same restaurant and he was picking up his food from. You can watch the whole exchange between the cops and the man in the video. Police accused him of having something in his left pocket, to which he said they may check it while he refused to step out of the vehicle. Here's the official video. The cop went ahead and opened the car door. They even threatened him with sending him to jail for obstruction and investigation. The cops announced they had reasonable suspicion on him for exchanging drugs for money. They blatantly accused him of dealing drugs. After this, the driver complied and got out of the car, as he did not have any other choice as per Atlanta Black Star. The cops moved him close to their vehicle so he could not be filmed in the video that he was already recording. The other cops searched the car while the man was checked for drugs. Instead of drugs, the man had put $10 in his pocket that fellow passengers had paid him for the ride. The police realized there were no drugs and they were telling the truth. They let them go. According to the rules, the cops can stop a vehicle and inspect if they suspect anything, so there is no violation of the Fourth Amendment right. However, many people who have watched the video consider this harassment and racism. Earlier, a Florida man shared his experience of getting harassed by the cops in Jacksonville. He was stopped for having his headlights off, and when he refused to get out of the vehicle upon not understanding the reason, the cop broke the window. He went on to hit him on the face and drag him out. He was then slammed on the floor, suffering injuries to his face. He shared the traumatic experience on Instagram while not wholly recovering from the incident. His asking for a supervisor did not work in his favor. Unnecessary violence against black men by cops has been seen several times now. Police departments are doing an internal investigation to understand the circumstances. Many people were in his favor, saying the violence from the cop was totally uncalled for. Okay, so I will show you the video about the person in the first part of the article in a minute or two. In regards to the Jacksonville man, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not giving legal advice. I remember watching the video of Jacksonville that the man responded, "It's not even raining anymore." So you have those times of day when rush hour traffic, because of the weather, for whatever reason, everybody has on their headlights. Because somebody does or does not have on their headlights does not mean that the officers should pull them over. Okay, once they pulled him over and he gave no physical resistance, just wanting to know, as would anybody ask, why are you stopping me? Why are you asking me to pull over? Which in most of the videos that I watched, it may have been stated so quickly when the person first rolls down the window or when the conversation starts, but I do not hear it repeated when they are asked for the reason by the person that's been stopped. Okay, so he breaks the window, hits the man in the face, drags him out of the car. Okay, police are allowed one-upmanship, which means that if you come with your hands, they can pull out their baton or heavy-weighted flashlight, etc., etc. If you come with a weapon, they can draw their weapon. They are allowed one-upmanship. That's the nature of the job. But to initiate that is a whole different ball of wax. Now, as regards to the items that were found in the trunk of the car, the knife, some marijuana, and maybe something else, and him not having a driver's license, not having registration insurance, ad infinitum, whatever it was. Those are what are referred to legally as fruit of the poisonous tree, which means it wasn't the reason that they detained the person, but it's evidence that came up after they committed themselves to whatever it was that they originally thought about doing. So, Ben Crump is on the case. He starts off with wanting the officer fired. So we will see how it goes. Ergo, may I search the car? Okay, so here's...
How can we help you?
I just asked a simple question.
Yeah, I said, how can we help you? Like, we're not doing anything. You're literally wasting your time.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay. So, you picked him up at 7-Eleven.
No, I was at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, and you picked him up.
Yeah. I seen him, he asked for a ride.
Okay.
I work at Ziggy's.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So what did y'all exchange?
In exchange,
Okay.
you did give me something.
You gave him
Hold
something.
on,
You gave him something in
What?
your left pocket.
I did. Want to go in my left pocket?
Well, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go in my left
Go
pocket.
step out for me.
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay, well, you have to. Pennsylvania versus Mem says you have to.
Why would I have to?
Because that's case law.
Is my car off? Case law for what?
Just tell me.
What do you suspect me of?
Okay.
What crime?
Okay. I will explain that to you once you step out the car.
But you're saying that, and you're forcing me out the car, right? Well, I don't want to get out.
Okay, but so then you'll just go to jail for obstruction.
Well, I'm obstructing what?
You're obstructing my investigation.
What are you investigating? What do you suspect me of?
I ask you to step out the car one more time.
You suspect me of a crime?
Yes, absolutely.
What crime?
Reasonable articulable suspicion that you guys did an exchange of goods.
Exchange of what? For
Goods.
what?
So do me a favor, unhook your seatbelt and step out the car, or I'm going to take you out the car.
What?
That's crazy.
So what you're saying is I don't have a choice. I don't have to get out, or you're gonna take me to jail.
You have to get out the car. Yes.
You know what I mean? So you're not asking me to get out. You're demanding.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you're saying that this is a lawful order.
So when you step out, you're going to face this A-frame here.
I don't have anything now. You're literally wasting your time.
Bring stuff back in.
Can I grab my car?
Just focus on it.
I don't know.
Alright, give me my ID. Sit right here. Just let it. You got anything in your pockets? Can I see that cigarette box, sir? What was he digging in his back seat so much for?
Get room for her.
Making room so I could sit down.
Okay.
We only gave him money for the ride.
Yeah, I gave him $10 for a
ride. And he gave him $10 so he can get a ride.
What's his name?
You know, I call him B. He come up to the restaurant I work at.
You said what?
I said I called him B. He come up to the restaurant I work at.
Okay.
I'm trying my phone. I need days
You can stay right there.
Right.
You can stay right there. I didn't know I did. That's dirt and sand or whatever. I thought you were showing your shoes. Appreciate it. Oh, is that who you're giving a ride? I tried to explain it to you. So I have a reasonable suspicion that you guys had some kind of exchange.
You seen somebody give you something like, but that still doesn't make
High crime. Okay. So you're not letting me talk. Okay. High crime area, okay? It's weird. You pull up, you gotta dig around in the car, okay? This guy just walks off to the side of 7-Eleven, and that's what he did. The guy that's the passenger seat, but doesn't even know your name. He walks up, y'all are digging in your car. You guys have exchanged money. You're digging in the car. Okay? You're digging around the car. So, you guys exchanged something. Okay? You exchanged money. Okay, that's exchanging something. You guys dapped up. You took what you got. What did you want to
I grabbed it like this. I did.
I watched it all.
I know I did.
So therefore,
Dap up.
my supervisor is here. Okay, I explained to him everything. So if you want badge number and everything, my name's all serving. My badge number. I don't.
Anything.
So my name's all serving. My badge number is 35405.
Can I write this down?
Hey, tell me.
Right. Like, you see how you, like, why are you so, like it makes sense, bro. Thank you. Oh, that's it. Okay, but what you say the name was? 35, 45.
You got a black man right there with me, another shit on.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. This is crazy.
My fucking camera wouldn't work. That shit crazy.
He saw me handles.
But that was another reason why, that was one of the reasons why I said no.
Oh, okay.
When you do that.
So that was the traffic stop that was talked about in the article that I just shared with you. Accused of taking drugs for money. Glad it all worked out. NFL rookie Travis Hunter's dad is arrested again after giving odd excuses for why tracking device lost him for 11 minutes. This is one of those cases where things happen, you know. And in this case, it's the father who has been on the other side of the law a couple of times, and the son who has aspirations that he's trying to reach while all this other stuff is going on. So, the father of NFL rookie Travis Hunter has been arrested for allegedly violating his probation. A warrant was issued for Travis Hunter Sr., 39, after his probation officer lost track of him for 11 minutes on June 28th. Hunter Sr. was arrested and jailed in Palm Beach County, Florida on Tuesday, police records show. He had been monitored as he was on a 3-year probation following gun and drug charges in 2023. After Hunter Sr. generated a bracelet gone alarm between 8:07 p.m. and 8:18 p.m. on June 28th, he told his probation officer that he had been in his room while the tracking device was in his living room. A few days later, he changed his story and said he lost the bracelet. Hunter Jr., 22, is an NFL rookie and the winner of the 2024 Heisman Trophy. The young athlete just started his first training camp with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was the second overall pick in this year's NFL draft. The football stars turned off comments on his Instagram account following his dad's second arrest. Hunter Sr. was arrested in November 2023 after a traffic stop because his license plate was invisible, court records said. Cops then found he was driving without a license and his car allegedly contained drugs and a loaded gun, court records said. The dad was charged with illegally possessing a firearm as a convicted felon after he was previously convicted of selling heroin in 2018. Last year, Hunter Sr. reached a plea deal to plead guilty to drug possession and the gun charge. He was sentenced to 3 years of probation, including a year of community control supervision. Hunter Sr. also spent 90 days in jail and was released on December 5, just over a week before Hunter Jr.'s Heisman ceremony. While Hunter Sr. didn't attend, Hunter Jr. thanked his dad for support when he accepted the award. "I want to say something to my father," Hunter Jr. said at the New York event. "He's not here and wasn't able to make it, but I know you're watching on TV. Dad, I love you for all the stuff you went through, man," he continued. "Now look at your oldest son. I did it for you, man." Hunter Sr. told the Palm Beach Post why he didn't go to the ceremony. "I don't want to go," he said. "I want to be there when he gets married and when he gets drafted. I'm going to watch this from home." Hunter Sr. then secured permission to pause probation so that he could attend the NFL draft to support his son. So that story kind of explains itself. Excuse me. Trump sets his target on Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon after Colbert is canceled. It's really good to see them go. Okay, folks, here we are again, the man and his feelings. So let's just jump in and see where we're at. Trump sets his target on Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon after Colbert is canceled. It's really good to see them go. And this is from The Independent 2 days ago. President Trump is claiming that late-night hosts Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon will be the next to go if he has his way, following the shock announcement that CBS will permanently retire the Stephen Colbert-helmed Late Show next year. The word is, and it's a strong word at that, Jimmy Kimmel is next to go in the untalented late night sweepstakes, and shortly thereafter, Fallon will be gone. Trump wrote on Truth Social on Tuesday of the comedians, both of whom regularly mock the president on their shows. These are people with absolutely no talent who have paid millions of dollars for, in all cases, destroying what used to be great television. It's really good to see them go, and I hope I played a major part in it. The comments follow similar from the president's last week, who wrote on social media that he heard Jimmy Kimmel is next and called Fallon a moron. Kimmel's contract expires next year, while Fallon's runs through 2028. CBS announced the end of the top-ranked Late Show last week, calling it a purely financial decision as late-night TV faces declining ad revenue and viewership, as well as competition from social media and streaming services. Colbert, however, as well as various Hollywood figures and prominent elected Democrats, saw the cancellation as another move designed to curry favor with Trump, after CBS Paramount agreed earlier this month to a $16 million settlement in a lawsuit from the president over the editing of a 2024 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. The administration also has final sign-off on a proposed $8.4 billion merger between Paramount and Sundance, a production company with ties to pro-Trump billionaire Larry Ellison. Colbert has blasted the settlement as a big fat bribe and staged an elaborate segment on Monday spoofing the cancellation, modeled after an incident in which the Jumbotron at a Coldplay concert recently exposed an affair between the tech company's CEO and his head of HR. In the Late Show's version, the audience was filled with fellow late-night audiences, including Fallon, Seth Meyers, Andy Cohen, John Oliver, and Jon Stewart, as well as an animated Donald Trump hugging a Paramount logo. Fellow comedians have rallied behind Colbert. I think the answer is in the fear and pre-compliance that is gripping all of America's institutions at this very moment. Institutions that have chosen not to fight the vengeful and vindictive actions of our public hair-doodling commander-in-chief. Stewart said on The Daily Show, "This is not the moment to give in." Love you, Stephen. F you and all your Sheldon, CBS, Kimmel wrote last week in an Instagram story, referring to the CBS show The Big Bang Theory and its variety of spin-offs. Outside of late-night TV, the president has shown an unprecedented willingness to publicly wield his power against media institutions engaged in work that paints him in an unflattering light. Trump has filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal over a report that prior to taking office, Trump sent an explicit 50th birthday card to sex offender and alleged human trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Interesting, if nothing else. Moving back to the White House, but in a previous administration. Artist who created Michelle Obama's famed portrait cancels Smithsonian show, claiming threat of censorship. Excuse me. Amongst the things that have come forward over the past little while, maybe even prior to the summer, was regards to the Smithsonian Institute and their removing of certain displays in regards to Black history, for one. this is kind of a dragged into the wake thing about connected to that. So this artist who did the portrait of Michelle Obama for the White House had a show coming up, and it would be the first time that anybody had a show to themselves. So she's a woman and she's black. So the one particular display that they wanted to cancel or use some other means of handling it caused her to say, well, the whole show, these are my words, not hers. The whole show is going to raise eyebrows because it's the times in which we live, and that's what's being depicted in the show. So since they centered on this one display, she decided that she was going to back out of it altogether. Okay. So painter Amy Sherald canceled what would have been a groundbreaking art show at the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery over possible censorship. Sherald's American Sublime was set to be on display at the museum for 5 months, starting in September. American Sublime, organized by the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, would have included Sheldon's famed portraits of Michelle Obama, 2018, Breonna Taylor, 2020, as well as one of her 2024 pieces, Transforming Liberty, a painting that portrays a transgender Statue of Liberty. The exhibit would have made her the first black contemporary artist to have a solo exhibition at the Portrait Gallery, according to the New York Times, which first reported the news. Sherald's decision comes as the Trump administration attacks trans rights and countless others. Correspondingly, Trump signed an executive order in March requiring that the Smithsonian museums change some of their content, which promoted narratives that portray American and Western values as inherently harmful and oppressive, per the order. Trump also granted Vice President J.D. Vance the power to withdraw funding of the museums if there are exhibits or programs that degrade shared American values, divide Americans based on race, or promote programs or ideologies inconsistent with federal law and policy. Former First Lady Michelle Obama and artist Amy Sherald stand next to Mrs. Obama's portrait as she and former President Barack Obama have their portraits unveiled at the Smithsonian in this National Portrait Gallery on Monday, February 2018 in Washington, D.C. I'll let you see if you can manage that. So that's the artist, Michelle, and the display. Okay. In a statemento multiple outlets, Sheridan said that the gallery had been internally discussing the removal and replacement of Transforming Liberty to keep President Donald Trump at bay. As a solution, Lonnie G. Bunch III, the secretary of the Smithsonian, proposed the idea that a video of viewers discussing the work could be included instead, Sherald claimed. Sherald said in her statement that the video is what prompted her to cancel because it would have opened up for debate the value of trans visibility, and I was opposed to that being a part of the American Sublime narrative. While no single person is to blame, it's clear that institutional fear, shaped by a broader climate of political hostility toward trans lives, played a role, she continued. This painting exists to hold space for someone whose humanity has been politicized and discarded. I cannot in good conscience comply with the culture of censorship, especially when it targets vulnerable communities. At a time when transgender people are being legislated against, silenced, and endangered across our nation, silence is not an option, she continued. I stand by my work, I stand by my sitters, I stand by the truth that all people deserve to be seen, not only in life, but in art. In a letter on Wednesday, she explained to Bunch that she was dropping the show, according to the New York Times. I entered into this collaboration in good faith, believing that the institution shared a commitment to presenting work that reflects the full, complex truth of American life, she wrote. Unfortunately, it has become clear that the conditions no longer support the integrity of the work as conceived. The Smithsonian denied that it intended to replace her piece with a video. The video was to accompany the painting as a way to contextualize the piece, a Smithsonian spokesperson said in a statement sent to multiple publications. It was not to replace Amy Sherald's painting. The Smithsonian also released a second statement that said, while we understand Amy's decision to withdraw her show from the National Portrait Gallery, we are disappointed that Smithsonian audiences will not have an opportunity to experience American sublime. By presenting and contextualizing art, the Smithsonian aims to inspire, challenge, and impact audiences in meaningful and thoughtful ways, the statement added. Unfortunately, we could not come to an agreement with the artist. We remain appreciative and inspired by Ms. Sherald, her artwork, and commitment to portrait. So, there you have the whys and the wherefores on that one. Rapper Glorilla arrested for drug possession after police called to investigate burglary. I don't mean to laugh, but it gotta be funny. You call for help and find out what was that song? Riding Dirty? Anyway, enough jokes. Rapper Glorilla arrested for drug possession after police called to investigate burglary. Rapper Glorilla has been arrested on drug possession charges after police were called to investigate a burglary at her home. The 25-year-old, whose real name is Gloria Hallelujah Woods, was reportedly not at her residence outside of Atlanta, Georgia, when three burglars broke in before 1:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. According to local station Channel 2 Action News, shots were fired by an unidentified individual, which caused the suspects to flee. Authorities do not believe they were injured. When Forsyth County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to investigate, they found a significant amount of marijuana in a closet in the master bedroom. Cannabis remains illegal for recreational use in Georgia. Woods was charged with possession of marijuana and possession of a controlled substance. She performed at the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis on Saturday evening before turning herself in to the Forsyth County Jail on Tuesday. She was released soon after on a $22,260 bond. That will be what passed for her mugshot, folks. Okay. In a statement, Forsyth County Sheriff Ron Freeman said the homeowner is a victim of a serious crime and we are committed to bring the suspects to justice. At the same time, we must continue to uphold and enforce the law in all aspects of this case. Woods, who was born in Memphis, Tennessee, first achieved mainstream success with her 2022 single F and F, Let's Go. The song reached the top 50 of the Billboard Hot 100 and earned a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Performances. It continues with her other accomplishments. And she told the Associated Press that her mentality is to put your foot on the gas and don't let up. Don't ever get too comfortable, said the rapper. Take advantage of everything that comes your way. If you drive and apply yourself, it's going to happen. She added, my mama always told me to be humble and grateful. I come from nothing almost. My mom is well-mannered. My mom taught us right, like internally, have a great spirit. My personality and spirit come from my mama. So, Glorilla, out on bail. Moving, that was the first of the top story spokes for Friday the 25th of July. The next top story is President Donald Trump signs executive order prohibiting third-party pay-for-play payments to athletes. President Donald Trump signed an executive order Thursday aimed at protecting student athletes and collegiate athletic scholarships and opportunities, while prohibiting third-party pay-for-play payments to those athletes. The fact sheet of Trump's executive order reflects a push that is effectively in lockstep with the goals established by College Sports Commission's Name, Image, and Likeness Clearinghouse. Top stories continues. Arizona woman in North Korean IT workers scheme sentenced to 8.5 years for helping to trick Fortune 500 companies out of millions. In a landmark sentencing on an alleged American accomplice in the North Korean IT workers scheme was sentenced to federal prison for nearly 9 years. Thursday's sentencing proved a pivotal moment in the U.S. battle against North Korea's sanctions evasion tactics that have claimed up to $600 million annually in a coordinated attack on U.S. and European countries. Next one, which I mentioned in previous shows. Back to Donald Trump, D.C. Stadium, and all information pertaining to. Despite Trump's threat to block new Commander Stadium, D.C. Council announces deal. The Washington, D.C. City Council chairman announced Thursday that a deal has been reached between the city and the Washington Commanders on an amended stadium agreement, despite threats earlier this week from President Trump to block any deal. The NFL team is in negotiations with the district over their plans to build a new stadium at the RFK Stadium site in D.C. 30 years after decamping to Maryland, but the proposal faces myriad challenges up ahead. Mr. Trump said on July 20 that if the Commanders don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. The team changed their name from the Washington Redskins 5 years ago, as the term is widely considered a racist slur against Native Americans. But Mr. Trump has recently revamped calls for return to the old name. I think that everyone has been perplexed by the president's comments, and in that sense, they certainly have not been helpful. I don't know where they go, and I've actually characterized him as a distraction in the many senses of that word. D.C. Council Chairman Phil Mendelson said of Mr. Trump's comments at a press conference Thursday. The council is set to vote on the proposal on August 1, with the second vote set for September 17, according to Mendelson. Mendelson said he is confident that they will have the votes necessary to pass the agreement next week. In addition to the looming threats from the president, the D.C. Council and Commanders also faced the technical difficulties surrounding the transfer of control over the RFK Stadium property. While the stadium is located on federal land, the city was given permission by Congress in January to control the property for 99 years, which would allow for its redevelopment. The agreement reached today signals a step towards receiving approval from city councilors over the redevelopment plan, but the real test will come with the August 1 vote. Regardless of the forthcoming roadblocks, the proposal seems to have widespread support both from district politicians and residents. Bringing the commanders home, and I was living in DC at the time the stadium was being used and active, so I can understand that. Bringing the commanders home is about more than a stadium. It's about creating jobs, attracting revenue, and driving investment towards 7. And it's coming at a time when we need it the most, DC Mayor Muriel Bowser said Thursday. The deal, as of its latest amendments, includes $950 million in revenue benefits for DC, and is estimated to save district taxpayers $55 million, according to Mendelson. A lot of the reaction that we got from residents, at least that I heard, and I think my colleagues would agree, was that the deal could be better for the district. And I mean, heard from many people. I support the team. I want the team in a district, but I think it could be a better deal. And so I think the commanders heard that, Middleton said. Negotiations will likely continue with possible additional amendments be made later on. But while Mendelson said there's still a lot that has to be worked out in terms of legal documents, the current deal represents the basic framework of the agreement. Mendelson, who previously raised concerns over the proposal due to its cost, said he put aside my own view on the deal due to support from DC residents and his fellow council members, and has since been satisfied with the progress. The commanders have been very positive, constructive in our negotiations. Mendelson said, I have no complaint. So there where it stands in regards to reviving RFK Stadium. Continuing with the top stories, folks. Information updated. Trump signs an executive order to make it easier to remove homeless people from the streets. I'm gonna do this, folks, as an audio clip. It's a 3-minute listen, so here we go.
President Trump wants to change how the U.S. manages homelessness. A new executive order aims to make it easier to move people off the street and into treatment for mental illness or addiction. It also calls for a major shift in how federal money to address homelessness is spent. NPR's Jennifer Ludden is here to explain more about this. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
I think people may remember that the president has complained for years about people living on the streets. What does this order say about clearing out homeless encampments?
Yes, he has, as you said, during the campaign, the presidential campaign, he talked about it. There was a video that made the rounds where he said encampments have turned, quote, once great cities into unlivable nightmares. And this executive order starts out along those lines. It says endemic vagrancy has made cities unsafe, and that getting people into long-term treatment can restore public order. Now, that is something conservatives have been lobbying for years, and that includes Devin Kurtz. He's with the Cicero Institute, a conservative think tank, and he says federal policy has just made it too easy to leave people alone on the street. He says this new order would give cities a way to force those who really need care into hospitals or other treatment, even if they resist.
I think because of the long-standing lack of medication or certain disorders that make them unable to help themselves. This is really that crucial safety net at the bottom to make sure that they don't continue to fall through the cracks and die on the street.
And the executive order says this would be for those who pose a risk to themselves or others. And it calls on the U.S. Attorney General to somehow, it's not clear how, try to reverse legal precedents that have made it harder to commit people against their will.
It sounds like this would be a process. It doesn't sound like something that could or would happen overnight. So what do people who work in this area think about this?
Well, they say it's basically treating homelessness and mental illness as a crime, and it would just make the problem worse. They say it would violate civil rights, that forced treatment does not work, and it's not clear how realistic it is. I spoke with Jesse Rabinowitz at the National Homelessness Law Center, who agrees more people should get treatment, but
right now, there aren't enough services. So many people want to get help, but they can't afford it, or the wait lists are too long. This executive order does nothing to address that.
Now, he and other advocates also say the most effective way to tackle homelessness is with more housing that's available and affordable. There is a massive shortage of that. We've reported on it for years. And not only does this order not do anything about that, Rabinowitz says, but the administration has also called for major cuts to federal funding for both housing and homelessness.
So how exactly does this White House order change funding for addressing homelessness?
So it calls for a big shift. Basically, for many years, federal funding has prioritized getting people into housing first and then offering them mental health or addiction treatment if they wanted it. This executive order calls for an end to those kinds of policies. Instead, it wants to prioritize the kind of treatment we've been talking about, and it directs several agencies, housing, health, transportation, to immediately start looking at their grant programs to make the shift. It says money should go to states and cities that crack down on illicit drug use, urban camping, urban squatting, as well as the mentally ill who pose a danger. Now, this could put places in jeopardy for continued funding. It could also mean we see even more cities move to ban homeless camps, for example, if that's what they think they need to do to get federal financial support.
That is NPR's Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you.
So that's from National Public Radio, an interview from one of their programs. Previously in the show, I talked about the wife of Emmanuel Macron being accused of being a man and grooming him in the early years because there's a 20-some year age difference between the two. And this has brought comments not only from media people in France, but also, which is where we come in at today, comments from people on this side here in America. So, this particular article, I mentioned this before, but I couldn't bring up the person's name at the time, so I apologize for that. So this one is called in regards to Candace Owens and her part in what had gone on with it. France's first couple sued Candace Owens for defamation over claims that Bridget Macron is a man. Well, because of her comments here in America, a lawyer from France's first couple said they'll be seeking substantial damages from U.S. conservative influencer Candace Owens if she persists with claims that President Emmanuel Macron's wife, Bridget, is a man. The lawyer, Tom Clare, said in an interview with CNN that a defamation suit filed Wednesday for the Macrons in a Delaware court was really a last resort after a fruitless year-long effort to engage with Owens and request that she do the right thing, tell the truth, stop spreading lies. Each time we've done that, she mocked the Macrons. She mocked our efforts to set the record straight. Enough is enough. It's time to hold her accountable. The Macrons have been married since 2007, and Emmanuel Macron has been France's president since 2017. In a YouTube video, Owens called the suit an obvious and desperate public relations strategy and said the First Lady is a very goofy man. Owens is a right-leaning political commentator whose YouTube channel has about 4.5 million subscribers. In 2024, she was denied a visa for New England and Australia, citing remarks in which she denied Nazi medical experimentation on Jews in concentration camps during World War II. The 219-page complaint against Owen lays out extensive evidence that Bridget Macron was born a woman. She always been a woman, the couple's attorney said. We'll put forward our damage claim at trial, but if she continues to double down between now and the time of trial, it will be a substantial award. In Paris, the presidential office had no immediate comment. In France, too, the presidential couple has for years been dogged by conspiracy theories that Bridget was born as a man named Jean-Michel Chardonnay, who supposedly then took the name Bridget as a transgender woman. Jean-Michel Chardonnay is in fact Bridget's brother. Last September, Bridget and Jean-Michel Chardonnay won a defamation suit against two women who were sentenced by a Paris court to fines and damages for spreading the claims about the First Lady online. A Paris appeals court overturned the ruling earlier this month. Bridget and her brother have since turned to France's highest court to appeal that decision, according to French media. The Marcons first met at the high school where he was a student and she was a teacher. Bridget Marcon was then Bridget Azere, a married mother of 3 children. Marcon, 47, is serving his second and last term as president. The First Lady celebrated her 72nd birthday in April. Marcon moved to Paris for his last year of high school, but promised to marry Bridget. She later moved to the French capital to join him and divorced before they finally married. Their relationship came under the spotlight in May when video images showed Bridget pushing her husband away with both hands on his face before they disembarked from a plane on a tour of Southeast Asia. I did see that. She is not visible, just her hands in the doorway of the plane as people come down the steps. He is fully visible, side view, and you just see her hands come up to his face. Marcon later dismissed the incident as play fighting, telling reporters that we are squabbling and rather joking with my wife that had been overblown into a sort of geoplanetary catastrophe. So that's the latest update on that, all the way from France to America. Trump says he wants Elon Musk to thrive after suggesting Doge could investigate him. So again, we take this on a daily or else moment by moment, minute by minute. Elon Musk has spoken out against certain parts of the big, beautiful bill. And as a result of that, there got to be a little exchange between him and Trump verbally as to the value of Elon Musk's opinion and whether or not he sits precariously on the fence due to how many subsidies he's received from the federal government in regards to his businesses. That being said, that's the latest on that. Trump wishing Elon Musk to thrive. Well, this has been an interesting show, folks. Gathering this material, presenting it to you today, Friday, July 25th, 2025, the last weekend of July. Hope you can get out and enjoy yourself. I'm Theodore Parker. This is a sideshow. That's it. #.